Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies, strengthening your business while offering your talent to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hey everybody,
Hey everyone.
welcome to the Giver Marketing Network broadcast. We have special guest Anna Boulier today. And if you want to look her up right away, even as you're listening to this or watching this either live or recorded, look her up right now on LinkedIn and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about what she does, how she does it as she's presenting today. But welcome. Get your digital note-taking devices out. Some people take notes in the comments just so others can benefit in the future. And so we welcome you to do that. Anna's going to be sharing with us today what is wrong with that free Gmail or that in some cases people talk about their free Yahoo email address or their free this. Those free emails that we all tend to have somewhere lurking in the backgrounds. What's the dangers of just having that alone without a branded email, and how can we fix that and all those kind of things? And I tell you what, I've been working with Anna for a little while now, and I'm very impressed with her level of experience, expertise, and service. And so I'm excited to see the visuals today. This is going to be great. Are we ready to rock and roll, Anna? Are you excited?
I am ready and thankful to be here.
Yes. Thank you for being here and sharing some of your wisdom with us and helping some of our audience kind of go from good to great when it comes to their brand. Tell us a little bit, how did you even get into this space? Like, did you just were you born a branding expert, or like, how did this happen?
No, I actually decided my senior year I was going to be an interior designer focusing on healthcare. So I got my studio art degree, and then I got my interior design and architecture degree. And God laughed because halfway through that second degree, the market collapsed and you couldn't get a job with 20 years of experience. I moved back home and ended up working at a carpet company designing carpets for hotels and country clubs all over the world. It was a fun job. I designed a lot of very interesting carpet, and I did that for quite a few years as their senior designer. And one day I thought, well, I guess the next step is management. I thought that my writing would be enough of a creative outlet that management would be the next logical step. I did that and found out management wasn't enough. It wasn't enough creativity for me. It just didn't make my soul happy, heart happy. So in 2020, I left my corporate job and started my own graphic design company. And now I help create foundational brands for service-based businesses so they can focus on growing and serving their customers. And I love what I do every single day.
Love it. So you're helping with the imagery and the language and the messaging and all of that when it comes to a brand, and emails are just one example of that. And you're going to share with us some tips on how to make sure that your email is not only safe, but also effective from a branding standpoint today.
Exactly. So. Yes. The aim of this presentation is to help business owners understand the impact their email has on their business branding and client retention.
Okay, well, let's jump in. I know you have some visuals for us, and I'll ask questions along the way. Others will ask questions or make comments or make notes in the comments. And we look forward to hearing from anybody who's listening or watching today. So that'll be good.
Awesome. So first, what goes through your head when I say you've got an email from someone named Brittany B199@gmail.com offering her digital marketing services to you?
Ooh.
Now, what goes through your mind when you see an email from Brittany at digitalmarketing.com offering those same services? It's a very different feeling. So you need to take control of your brand. Your brand is your first impression, and it covers everything. My outfit are my brand colors. My speech, the way I talk to you, is all on brand. First impressions, your clients will judge you and compare you to everyone they know who they think do what you do. And so your brand must be consistent. Everything must align to your professional image, from your voice, from your emails, from your content, your social media, all of it aligns. Because perception drives trust. Your customers judge you instantly. And without trust, they're not going to invest.
Hold on one second. That phrase you just said is worth putting in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Perception drives trust. Perception drives trust. I'm going to use that, Anna, and I'm going to reference you whenever I can in using that phrase, because perception does drive trust, and it's a very, very interesting phrase to kind of drop in your notes right now. Love that.
Yes. So a study by Statista found that 45.1% of all emails sent worldwide are categorized as spam. The study does not say if they are actually spam or not. It's just that they are categorized as spam. So one of the things that I found is that I had a client who came to me because he didn't have a logo for a nonprofit event he was helping to sponsor. He had a business card with his name and an @Gmail email address and a phone number, but there was nothing about him that said professional and showed his 20 plus years of experience in the business. He just started out on his own a year ago, and he was struggling to get those clients. I rebranded him, created a website, got him that @professional branded email, and now customers come to him without him doing all of this trying to get out in front of customers. So that brings me to why a professional email matters. @Gmail looks insincere and fake, that you're not taking your business seriously. And it creates those trust issues I talked about. Spam like emails are often ignored and even seen as a potential threat, while a custom email establishes credibility. Email is often one of the first ways that a customer sees you and meets you, is through that initial email. And you want to give a professional identity, and that email reinforces it. And it helps you stand out in a very subtle and easy lasting impression. So email is powerful in business. 72% of B2B buyers prefer emails, and 73% of marketing says that email is the most effective. But that doesn't work if your clients are ignoring your emails because they don't see them as important, safe, or relevant to what they need. So one of the biggest things that people don't realize is that a free email, whether it's Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever, it comes with potential risk and problems. There's security risk because a free Gmail is subject to data analysis and privacy risks through Google, which is quite a large company and has a lot of people looking at them. And have harder data regulations to meet. My insurance clients, he has to send a document that has to ask permission for your medical information. He can't send that safely with an @Gmail. He needed something safer. I also have another client that was a concierge nurse, and her email was not HIPAA approved. So we had to go through all of those steps to get her a professional email so she could do that. Also, with those free emails, you can't customize. They don't integrate with all of the tools you need necessarily. And that can impact your business operations and how you can do your business day to day. Another downside is you don't have priority support with your email issues. You get lost in a big crowd and it's generic support. It takes a long time to even get to a real person, even if that's an offering for the email you have. And those support delays affect your business. And so those are the biggest concerns for @Gmail. So the big thing is taking control of your brand is something you need to do to stand out, to give the right impression, build trust, and be competitive. And it affects everything that you do, from your email to how you talk on social media, what you wear when you present, all of that. And all of it is about building trust, because branding is about connecting with your client's emotions. It's about telling a story that says, you've got a problem, I'm here to help you, and I want to help you. And when you build that trust, when you start with take care of the little details like that @email that's branded, or the social media topics that you talk about, or how you look, or your colors. When those all come together, it tells your client you care about their business, you care about them, and you want to help solve their problem.
So when you're talking about a branded email, you're obviously talking about a like a name at website domain.
Correct.
Name
It's
at
your
website
custom
domain,
domain.
a custom or a word at website domain, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And I know that there are people who free Gmail is free,
Mhm.
but I've worked with a lot of clients on different budgets, and there are ways to find domains and emails that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg. This isn't about spending the most money to look the best. It's about doing what is strategically smart for your business and still be professional and branded.
It is one of the ways that I think we're all evaluating who to work with or who to listen to or who to interact with, especially through email, is just looking at not only their email address, but then grabbing the end of their email address and going and checking out their website. We've all kind of done this at different times. Some do it more than others, but being able to grab the end of somebody's email, just that alone could be worth its weight in gold. And like you said, the domain names that you purchase can be set up with your email very inexpensively, almost too inexpensive, if I'm being real. Like it's very low cost to be able to do that. At the time of this recording, it's probably less than like $20 a year to kind of make this happen, right?
Yes.
Am I on track there, Anna? As far as like just
Yes.
yeah,
And even with Google, if you go through Google, use their platform with their branded domain, you get the security that you need, you get the privacy you need, the customization that you need. It's just you're paying for that extra support and that extra security that you're not getting with the free email.
got it, got it. And I know some of those like Google might be like an extra $6 to $8 a month or something to get the really nice full suite of everything. But you're talking about just making it look right to your brand and your company, and it may not cost as much as you think. And it opens up so many other possibilities. I love the way you're kind of framing this so that we can just help as many people as possible and just presenting this information in that way. So thank you. And I appreciate that. All right. So what else do we have today and how do we get a hold of you?
So I have created the Owl Quiz Your Brand. You can scan here or go to owlsimplydesign.com/quiz and download a free quiz that will let you look at your brand from a visual, message, and positioning place in the world. Take the quiz, get your results, and this comes with a free 30-minute session to talk to me about what you found and ways that we can help, and you can get some quick fixes and solve problems in the long term.
This is great. So it's owl like the bird, owlsimplydesign.com/quiz will get you to the same place. So website/quiz will get you to the same place. But if you want to make it easy, just pause or quickly get out your device and grab a picture of that QR code, and you should be good to go. Get a quiz that asks you some really relevant questions, and then also the ability to, if you mentioned that you saw the broadcast, mention the word giver, and you book an appointment with Anna, she might give you a little extra time to kind of go through the results of that quiz and
Very
be able
true.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, those kind of quizzes and then the conversation afterwards is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I know that many of my associates and myself included will charge sometimes thousands of dollars for full sessions. So be able to give at least a little bit of time and then go through that quiz is worth its weight in gold. So if you haven't yet connected with Anna Boulier, you want to do it now. Take a look at this QR code here, get your free goodie. I should have mentioned that on the top at the top of the presentation, but hey, for those who stuck around, you get the goodies, right? This is always how it works. This is good. So at this point, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and bring down that. I'll give you 3 seconds to grab your free quiz and connect with Anna and be able to go through that together so that you can enhance your brand. So Anna, when they book that appointment with you,
Mhm.
can they talk to you about more things than just Gmail, or
Oh,
what
yes.
are how does
The quiz covers all aspects of your brand, from your logo and how readable it is to how you speak to your target market. So we'll cover more than just I don't know how much your email actually will be discussed. It'll be your whole brand from front to back.
You'll you'll definitely pay attention to the email, but that'll just be the starting point, just to make sure that
Yes.
the basics are covered. I've always heard it say, "Be brilliant at the basics," and that's essentially what we were talking about today. This is the basics in our modern era. If you're in business, you need to look like it, you need to sound like it, you need to uh, carry yourself in a way that's professional, so people can trust you sooner than later. All right, so with that, Anna, we have the privilege of being able to have a roundtable discussion with you, a panel discussion with you. We're going to bring up Frank and Christine. Christine Dean and Frank are in the house today. So here we go. Round of applause for the panel. Yeah, yeah. All right. So, hey, this was fun, right? So, what stood out to us? Let's get the conversation going. Maybe ask a few questions, see if there's any comments in the peanut gallery, if you will, as well. But what do we have for Anna? What stood out to us, and what questions do we have?
Anna, I gotta say, I love your topic. I'm a lot of times I'll work with startups also, and one of the things that they struggle with is, well, I have an email address. Okay, yeah, you do. But it's kind of the difference between, I just baked cookies out of my kitchen, and here, would you like a cookie? You know, cookie mom at gmail. Right? I mean, it's that kind of level, right? If you want to take your business to a higher level rather than I'm just, this is something I kind of do, it's more like a hobby, right? If you want to take your business beyond that hobby level into a real business, I love this, Anna. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. In a lot of ways, I feel like people don't take you as seriously. They think of that mom and pop, that mom who's just making a little extra income on the side, and, the crafting hobby, that sort of thing. And while those are great, they're not looking to set up a business. They're not looking to do that full time usually. And when they do think about doing it full time, that's when they level up and get that at cookiemom.com.
There you go. What way to tie it in? I like it. That's fun. Frank, any questions, comments, thoughts, things that stood out to you?
Well, the I agree completely that having an generic website, emailhost.com email address is less than professional. But are there any issues with which platforms you use? I mean, you can certainly put a domain name on a Gmail platform and have a very professional email address, but you're using Gmail as the underlying platform, or you're using Microsoft, or you're using many other platforms. Are there issues about that a small business should worry about?
So they can be if they're not set up correctly. When you do that with your email and use a custom domain as your email, you've got to go in and you've got to do some behind the scenes coding and making sure that your website is connected to your email and fixing it so your email won't go to spam and that it will talk to everybody and not come off as spam. But if you just go ahead and just sign up for that @domain email without knowing what all you need to do to make it professional, make it work, it's going to be treated as a spam email. So you need to make sure that when you have someone do it, that they know what they're doing and how to tie everything in. And they recently passed stricter laws this past year. So I had to go back to all my clients and say, hey guys, they've updated some things. We need to do some extra coding to get your emails working for this new restriction that they're placing. So it's an ongoing, and as the world changes and things get bigger or better, email has to be updated as well.
Well said. And it's going to be a continual monitoring of these communication channels, whether it's email or social media or the website itself. There's always there's nothing static anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing's like set it and forget it. It's always monitoring and making sure that your communications are being received, links aren't being broken, DNS records are in place, all these different fancy terms that people like Anna and Christine and others know can help you with these various aspects. Anna, when somebody wants to reach out to you and you're helping them, I know that you've really dove in and helped some of our compadres and our associates with branding specifically. So when I see you, I see like the branding queen. Like she knows how to help with your imagery, your messaging, even some of your basic technology around just kind of making sure that you're not off brand. You're not confusing your audience. Can you speak a little bit more to the benefits of that and what that actually results in?
So when a client comes to your website, they have to be hooked within seconds. Like you don't even get 3 seconds with them. And so you've got to make an impression visually fast. And that counts for social media. That counts for when you're speaking. You've got to get people's attention. Our attention span is getting smaller and smaller and smaller because of everything that's happening in a visual driven video world. And so you've got to make sure that everything you do is on point and that you're speaking consistently, that you look consistently, that how you act, how you handle every customer is consistent. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't change. I recommend checking out, reviewing your brand at least once a year, if not once a quarter, because technology is moving so quickly. What's good platform one day might be a bad platform the next day. You've got to be aware of what's going on and being able to pivot to meet those needs of your customers and still remain front of mind.
I've been noticing that I'll go back and look at even some of our web pages, and I'll look at it and I'll go, we need to get somebody like Anna in the mix because we got to get this refreshed every 2 years for sure. If not every year, we need to kind of relook at all this and say, is this all consistent? It might be a yearly rhythm now moving forward, just because there are shifts and changes that happen in all of our businesses, especially if we're small, medium-sized businesses. There's offerings that become front and center or maybe they weren't a year ago. Maybe they've just taken off. They're just really good offers. Those need to be kind of peppered in a way that makes sense to the audience and solves a problem, addresses a pain point, and all those good things that branding really enhances. It puts the flavor crystals on everything that you're doing. The offer itself isn't really effective without the branding around it, without the imagery and the messaging that says, hey, we solve your problem, we can help you, that kind of a thing. So I love your work, Anna. Thank you so much. And you and I have been working together on some things even recently, and so super excited to see what happens as far as folks reaching out to you based on this broadcast. And how do they get a hold of you? Do you check your LinkedIn quite a bit, or are you more of a Facebook person, or what? I mean, we have your free quiz here. That's probably the best, but I'm just kind of, when it comes to social media, what do you prefer?
So I actually keep up with a little bit of everything: LinkedIn, social media.
Mhm.
On the scan the quiz download, there's also a calendar link there, so you can schedule that 30-minute session with me.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty easily accessible. I
Okay.
feel that if I don't use it, I can't help my clients use it. So that's one of the things I strive to do.
Good. So reach out to Anna Boulier as soon as you can. As soon as you see this, take a picture of the QR code. Go ahead and get to her scheduler link. Go through the quiz, and it should benefit. One thing I love about these assessments or quizzes or questions and answers kind of a thing is that just the answering the questions alone is worth something. Of course, they want to book a time with you as well to go through it, but just the art and science of answering good questions, just that alone can just go ding, 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 ding. Oh, yeah, I should probably consider doing this kind of thing. And also, what I really appreciate about you, Anna, is you don't push people to do things that they don't want to do. You are there to serve, you're there to help, you're there to solve problems. You're like that branding queen that's just there to help and serve and be available for them, but you're not forcing them to do anything. And so I really appreciate your style. That's your brand. Your brand is kind of wise, like an owl, like very conscientious. It all fits. So I really appreciate that about you.
Well, I was just thinking as we were talking, Anna, we were talking a lot about like businesses and branding, but I was just thinking about like personal branding, right? Because a lot of times, the culture has changed. It used to be whether it's get a degree, get a job, work for someone else, or business ownership, right? But we're finding ourselves in a time where we're having more entrepreneurs, right? That are kind of multiple businesses and they've got their hands in multiple things. So now, how do you identify yourself if you're not just identifying with one brand, right?
Yes. So I've actually come across this. I'm a writer, so I have a brand that fits for my writing, but I also write in two different genres. So I created a brand for each of those genres and then an overarching brand over both of them. And depending on social media, if I'm talking about a specific book, if I'm talking about helping you write, or if I'm just talking about my being a writer in general, decides what brand I focus on. But I have everything written out. I know what colors to use, what fonts to use, and I stick to those in social media. And it's a juggle sometimes. I mean, I've got, I think, 10 emails I have right now that I have to check. And then 3 for my clients that I check at least once a week. But it's all about being organized, making sure everything goes into one email for me to keep an eye on, unsubscribing from anything that's not relevant to keep those emails down, and just being consistent with everything, consistent in how I act, how I talk, what I do, and how I help my customers.
So, what do you think of a like personal brand where maybe I've seen people do websites where it's their name? Um,
Yes, and then that's great. I love telling people if you do the more than one thing, have your name as your domain, because then even if you change in 10 years, your name's not going to change. So that lets you branch out, do whatever you want. You can have a page for each thing you do. And then if something you decide to change, if it grows, it's easy to change the page, not necessarily easy to change the domain.
Good tips. Great question, Christine. Thank you for that. I think it's important to note that when people are enhancing these aspects of what they feel called to, well, like their business or their brand, there needs to be an investment that's made of some kind, of time, maybe a little bit of money to enhance that, so that people can then feel comfortable to go ahead and pay you for your services or your products. It's always interesting to me when somebody is asking for a premium to their audience, but they haven't invested as much into their own brand. And so I would challenge everybody, if you could focus on one thing for your company to kind of take it from good to great, the first pillar we always talk about is branding. And this is part of that conversation. This is part of that bucket. And so anyway, thank you, Anna, so much for sharing today. Really appreciate you sharing your story, a little bit of tips, some examples of the work you've done. We also have one thing we want to mention, Christine. We have a networking time for marketing, communications, media type professionals. We call them marketers in a general sense of the term, but marketing, communications, media, even PR professionals. Join us on Wednesday, givermarketing.com/networking, givermarketing.com/networking. And that'll get you to a registration page where you just pop your name in, your email one time. It'll give you reminders for several weeks after that. I think, what is it like? They'll just keep reminding them that there's a meeting coming up.
If they just register, save it on your calendar, right?
Yeah.
This is back to that Gmail thing again, right? Your professional calendar. And you can have different professional calendars, whether it's Gmail, like we said, or another type. But save things on your calendar so you can stay organized and you go find it again. So register once, save it, and then come hang out with us. There is nothing worse than being a lonelypreneur, right? You don't want to be in a little bubble all by yourself. There's so many fun people you can come hang out with. Anna likes to hang out with us. Frank comes and hangs out with us. I'm just saying, you're in good company if you come hang out with us on Wednesdays.
Love the open networking. You can invite friends and share that link with others. Today, we've had the privilege of hearing from Anna Boulier, and we thank you again for presenting something we can take action on today, especially if you're in the medical field, financial world, insurance world. I'm thinking, like, if you're in governmental positions at all, like, this is a no-brainer. Like, this is it's attorneys. This is almost necessary in our modern era. If you don't, you're going to end up getting slapped or fined, or something's going to happen you don't want to see happen later on. So if you know anybody in those spaces, get them over to Anna Boulier. If you are in that space, wealth management of any kind, we want you to be able to be protected and look sharp and be able to charge accordingly. So
absolutely. And it's so important to bring in a professional for that kind of thing. It really is, because when you start getting that technical stuff and you have to get into the back ends, you don't want to be halfway through. And I've gotten phone calls like, I think I broke something. You don't want to be that person. You want to make sure it's all done correctly and smoothly, so bring in those professionals that help. And that's what I love about our network. We have professionals like Anna and Frank, Timothy, right, that are all specialists in their area. So don't be afraid to reach out to us if we can be of help.
We help make those easy buttons for you. We'll just get it done for you quickly so you don't have to worry about it. God bless you guys. We'll see you next week. Make sure and sign up for givermarketing.com/networking, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Okay. God bless.